What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Twigger, and I have another League of Legends high ELO commentary for you folks, featuring none other than the middle lane player for Team Solo Mid, Bjergsen, on his, just additional account. I guess it's not really a smurf, it's still incredibly high ELO, but this is Bjergsen playing on Taliyah, which is exactly why I wanted to get into this game, because of course Taliyah is the new champion on the Rift, and I haven't really seen a professional player show what she can do yet. I know that I've tried it, and I was pretty abysmal at her gameplay, so I'm curious to see if she does have the potential to be in the LCS, as the LCS is starting up this week. Very excited to see if she's going to be seen, but also in this game, we kind of get a double whammy here, because I'm going to be talking about the bot lane anyways. It looks like there could very well be a first blood here, but it looks like maybe not, but it looks like Doublelift is actually duo queuing with Bjergsen, so we have the mid laner and the bot ADC, Doublelift, duo queuing together, which should be pretty dang phenomenal, but it looks like the Karma being taken in by that Alistar, the headbutt pulverize doing work, and it looks like the Ashe, after putting on that Ranger's focus, is going to be enough to kill off the Karma for the first blood, and now Doublelift is going to be the double kill for the Ashe, going down as well, trying to avenge his fallen comrade. So we're getting a lot of really cool people in here. Also, Echo Fox KFO is up in the top lane playing as that Fizz. We also have Apollo in this game, who I believe was on TIP as the AD carry in the NALCS, and Cloud Nguyen, who also played a certain amount of LCS games himself, I believe on Team Dignitas? Not entirely sure, but a phenomenal player and a lot of really, really big names currently in this game. So should be very exciting. I'm going to be focusing on the entire game itself, but I'll try to get as much Taliyah gameplay in as we can. But looks like the Malphite just biting off a little bit more than he could chew. The Ignite that's on that Fizz ended up being enough to secure the kill on the Malphite. Very rare that you see somebody go for teleport and an aggressive summoner spell such as Ignite. Normally go for a flash and a teleport or something like that, or you would sacrifice the teleport to go for an Ignite to be more aggressive in the lane. You see that sometimes on Riven's or Darius's or anything like that. Darii? But instead, knowing that he's on the Fizz, knowing that he does have that playful trickster for his own mobility, goes for the teleport and the Ignite to be aggressive, while also helping out his team with the teleport. But I'll try to focus on the entire game, but I will also try to get down to Taliyah as much as possible to see what Bjergsen does on that. It's a very unique champion and a very unique playstyle that you have to utilize with Taliyah, but with all that being said, right now Rek'Sai and Alistar are kind of jumping into the Jarvan's jungle and making that blue buff a little bit difficult for him to secure. And of course we have the Rek'Sai flash in that level 7 mastery, I believe, so nice. Oh, sorry, no, the purple is level 6, blue is level 7, so that was a level 6 mastery, so come on, Rek'Sai, where's the level 7? Can't believe it. But TSM's Sightstone is the Karma. I don't think that that is Biofrost. If they were going with Biofrost, I don't believe that that's him, but, you know, very well could be. But once again, we have the Echo going pretty aggressive onto this Malphite, but Malphite now having the Doran's shield as well as the Corrupting Pot will be able to heal up most of this damage, but, of course, Fizz has the Corrupting Pot and the Dark Seal. The Dark Seal, of course, giving you 25% additional healing from the Corrupting Pot, so I think he can right now heal back a lot more from those trades than the Malphite can. Malphite's just going to have to really time his aggression with his passive shield coming up, but I still think he's not going to have a very good time against that Fizz in the lane, simply because that Ignite is going to be up in about 30 seconds, and Fizz will probably go aggressive again. I think Malphite is just going to wait until they start grouping up as a team, utilize that Unstoppable Force ultimate, and try to really help out his team more than the Fizz is going to help. There is a Lucian in the mid lane, so I should probably go down what champions we're seeing up here. You guys have already seen the Fizz versus the Malphite in the top lane. We have a Rek'Sai versus a Jarvan in the jungle, Taliyah versus Lucian in the mid lane, and then Graves, Karma versus Alistar, Ashe. So we got the double A's going down in the bot lane with the Ashe and the Alistar. Bjergsen looks like he is going to come down. No, he looked like he was going to come down for a roam, but choosing not to. He is, of course, maxing his Q first. That is pretty standard stuff. As a Taliyah, I do at least know some of the combo, but I'm not going to talk about that quite yet, because Doublelift getting headbutt pulverized and taking a lot of damage. Karma is going to lock down the Ashe with her W, but once again, the Ranger's focus is doing so much damage to this Karma. Looks like Taliyah is going to be taken down pretty darn low by that Lucian, currently having a double Doran's Blade and a longsword, providing a lot of AD, but also quite a bit of health for that Lucian in the early stages of the game. The things that I do know about Taliyah is that you do want to max that Q first. Of course, it's your major damage spell. But I do kind of know the combo is that you lay down your W, your minefield, and then you use your seismic shard thingy to pop them up and push them through the minefield, which does a ton of damage. That ability, in fact. But you push them through the minefield, which does a lot of damage. It's a very unique mechanic, because you actually, the seismic shard that you put down kind of looks like Cho'Gath's Rupture, but instead of just knocking the person straight up, you actually get to dictate where this thing is going to shove the person. So you actually get an arrow if you're not using quick cast or if you don't have range indicators on. You actually get an arrow to show people where they're going to be pushed. But looks like Malphite did get a kill onto the Fizz, and from what I'm seeing there was probably a turret dive from the Fizz that just didn't work out. Jarvan getting caught out a little bit. A great interrupt from the Rek'Sai, blocking the EQ combo from the Jarvan with the knockup of her own, stopping that completely and forcing Cloud Nuyen to actually blow his flash, which is a pretty big deal because on Jarvan, for those of you who don't know, you can actually, similar to a Gragas body slam, you can do a flash in the mid of your EQ combo and actually still knock somebody up. So you can kind of not really change directions or anything like that, but you can make it go further. You can kind of get different things going down. We saw it a couple times in the NALCS, but we haven't really seen Jarvan a lot anymore in the LCS. He's just kind of fallen off as a jungler, but definitely going to be curious to see if anybody picks him up in this next season of the North American or EU West LCS. But while all that's being said and done, and we've been talking and praising this Jarvan, the first dragon of the game looks like it's going to be going in favor of the blue side. That is an Infernal Drake. Actually, Rek'Sai doesn't look like he has Smite. Rek'Sai is just kind of waiting for it because the Karma could very well take this with a Mantra'd Q. They are going to wait for the Smite, though, and that is going to be a free dragon for them. Karma now trying to do some damage to this Alistar. Alistar does not have his ultimate yet, so I don't know if Karma's going to be able to take this one down. They are pinging Karma to B. She might be biting off a little bit more than she can chew because this could very well be a bait for the Lucian. Rek'Sai is incredibly low, though. Might fall. Is going to fall to the red buff. What were you thinking, Rek'Sai? Come on now. So that was an execute. Now Alistar going to go in and finish off the red buff? Oh, Alistar, you are a hero. Went in and took the red buff, made sure it was finished because it was only like a couple hits away, and so Alistar is going to go to lane with the red buff. Definitely a curious thing. Not entirely sure why they would decide to allow that to happen. But hopefully that means that we're going to see a lot of aggression coming out of this Alistar. And you know what? Ash just hit level 6. So you could very well arrow somebody and then headbutt pulverize as the Alistar hit them with an auto attack. And now all of a sudden you have red buff on them. So their ability to run away is going to be very, very impacted from that red buff. So it could very well be a good thing for that Alistar to have. Well, I think it would be better on an Ash or something like that. But still, you know, at least somebody on your team has a red buff. So Ashe is not really a standard AD carry anymore. She really fell off in favor of a lot of other ADCs such as Lucian, and Corki is still one, Caitlyn as well with all of her traps. But Ashe just had, she had a point where she was very, very strong, but she ended up falling off and just nobody really played her anymore. But we do have the Rek'Sai coming in here, but a little bit too early. Flash Pulverize is going to come, sorry, the Headbutt Pulverize is going to come out onto the Karma. Karma's going to flash away, but here comes the Malphite with the Unstoppable Force. The Fizz is going to join with the TP as well, though, but that's already 3 kills in favor of the red team. Malphite picking up 1 and Graves, Doublelift picking up 2. Now with the Jarvan is here, and also Bjergsen's Taliyah is going to come here as well. The Minefield is going to miss, same with the Seismic Shard knockup. The ultimate's going to come down and kind of knock up the Fizz a little bit, but it's also going to block off the Jarvan from any chase potential, so no further kills coming from that fight, but nobody died on the red side, and 3 members died for the blue team. So I think that was just a little bit of over-aggression. The Rek'Sai went in a little bit too early, and it caused the Alistar to flash and then headbutt pulverize to get that double knockup, which was really, really well done. But looks like, sorry, Lucian is going to take a little bit of damage, and I'm slowly but surely going to die. It's kind of what happens when you try to talk that much. Okay. So, the Rek'Sai went in a little bit too early, took a couple turret shots, and the problem was that was also a turret dive. You're only level 6. These turrets still hurt a lot. You force the Alistar to flash headbutt pulverize, which got a double knockup, but the Ashe was a little bit further behind. She did throw onto Doublelift, but it just wasn't enough, and they were taking turret damage the entire time, but Malphite was so clutch with that ultimate, going there as quickly as humanly possible, made sure that he got that Unstoppable Force. It seemed like on all 3 members, which just turned the entire team fight. But Doublelift now might be in a little bit of trouble. Headbutt Pulverize coming out, but the Q coming out from Doublelift doing a lot of damage, ends up dodging the Q from the Rek'Sai, and Doublelift is now in the smoke screen, so it's going to block the sight from the Rek'Sai. Ashe now taking damage from the turret, so she's not going to be able to do anything. The arrow's going to come out, land on the Karma, and the Ashe is going to be the one to clean up the Doublelift, but it looks like also the Karma is going to go down. The damage coming out of the Fizz is quite a bit when he has that Ignite available, so it was a great little thing from Doublelift to be able to burst down that Alistar when he dove in and also killed the Rek'Sai, so it was really a 2 for 2, which should have really been a 2 for 0 in favor of the blue team if that was played correctly, but Alistar wasn't even level 6 yet, so the dive was not very good and just probably shouldn't have happened, period, but oh well. Doublelift doing a great job on that Graves, going for that Ghost Blade first with the Swifty boots. 75 CS, but Ashe has 91 CS, and we might see a dive here. No, probably not on an Alistar. He's only level 5, though, so this have a Pulverize on a level 9 Malphite. I really don't think these guys are going to do much to him. There's the ultimate coming down, the Jarvan coming in as well. Ultimate, and that's going to be a solid kill onto the, onto the Lucian, and the flash coming out of the Rek'Sai as well, just to get her out of that one. Jarvan, I think, is going to be going with those long swords, probably going to be going for the Warrior's enchantment, also picking up that Hunter's potion to make sure that he has more stacks so he can stay healthy in the jungle. To be honest, this whole thing was supposed to be about Bjergsen's Taliyah, but really Bjergsen has not done a whole heck of a lot. Even went down for that that gank in the bot lane, or at least that roam to the bot lane during that team fight, and didn't pick up a single thing. So I'm curious to see what Bjergsen's going to be able to do in the late game. Looks like he's picking up the pieces for a Morellonomicon. Definitely a good item to have just for that extra cooldown reduction. It's not really going to stop any type of healing. There's not really much healing on the team, but it looks like we do have the fight in the top lane. The Chum the Waters onto the Malphite. Malphite has no ultimate himself, so he might have bitten off a little bit too much here. The Playful Trickster is going to come out. There's the slow, but there's the flash coming out of the Malphite. Probably going to be able to get away from this one, but Fizz could very well dive this. Culling coming out onto Bjergsen, but it looks like the E is going to keep that Lucian away from him and interrupt the culling. Very well done. But Malphite is going to escape from that fight. I would have expected the Fizz to dive, but it looks like the Malphite did manage to get away. But also a solid flash over the wall. Rek'Sai is now down in the bot lane. It looks like they're just taking down the ward that's in there. Karma doing a solid amount of damage, but nothing good to come from that. Everybody seems to be fairly passive this game. Like, we're having these big outbursts of aggression, but in terms of their regular laning, no one seems to want to fight one another. The Dragon's going to be coming up in 30 seconds, which could very well be something that both teams aim for. I'm just going to see what type of Dragon it is. It is a Cloud Drake, so you know you got to go fast, and when you got to go fast, you got to get a Cloud Drake. Alistar is level 6 now, so the die potential becomes a lot more real. Taliyah is going to use her ultimate. Bjergsen going to cut off the Alistar completely. Alistar does not have his... Oh, sorry, he does have his flash available. Just going to pop his ultimate instead. That is a very interesting decision. Okay, so that was a great use of Taliyah's ultimate. Did, in fact, get a kill off of that one. So, very, very nicely done blocking him off here, but... I'm surprised he didn't just flash over the wall. He does have flash up, so he could have just flashed and kind of walked down and prevented the team from chasing him. But chose to use his ultimate and try to just go in instead and just prolong the fight, I guess. But sadly, not quite enough. But it looks like the Cloud Drake is going to go in favor of the, I'm going to call them the TSM team, because we do have a couple members of TSM on this red side. But the total score right now, 9-5 in favor of the red side, 23.6k to 22.8k. Really not a substantial gold lead. There's not really, even in terms of the CS margins, not that big of a lead. We do have a pretty good lead in favor of the Malphite, 119 to 103 in terms of CS in the top laners. Fairly even in the jungle, only a couple minions separating those two. Dead even in the mid lane, and then 118 to 109 in favor of Apollo's Ashe over Doublelift's Graves. So that's kind of the major differences that are happening in this game, is one in favor of the Malphite, one in favor of the Ashe on the respective sides. But remember, we're only 14.5 minutes into this game. Items haven't even really started to come out yet. We haven't seen a full 5v5 team fight. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen in those team fights, but we just have these top players. The Chum the Water is going to come out. Malphite does have his unstoppable force, and he's managed to deal really well with the damage coming out of the Fizz. There's the ultimate, but it is going to be dodged completely by the Playful Trickster. KFO dominating the Malphite, knowing exactly when that ultimate was going to come up and Playful Trickstering it immediately, and that's going to be an easy kill for the Fizz with that Ignite. Jarvan is now in hot pursuit, but the arrow from the Ashe is going to be enough to knock down the Taliyah. Bjergsen just getting caught by that arrow, and then the headbutt pulverized from the Alistar will be enough to clean that one up. Bjergsen with his first death of the game. Jarvan was chasing down that Fizz and does manage to secure himself a kill, and now Rek'Sai doing a lot of damage to this Jarvan. Jarvan is going to go in with the Cataclysm, is going to flash out so he doesn't get headbutt pulverized, but while they're in the Cataclysm, Karma is going to get the lockdown from the W. Jarvan is not going to be the one securing that kill, but Ashe is now here to chase down the Karma after securing the kill onto the Rek'Sai, and that is going to be enough with the slows and the flash. The exhaust going down onto the Alistar to try to make some distance between Karma and the Alistar, but not quite enough to get away from the Ashe, who's going to slow you and flash on you to slow you even more. Apollo playing a pretty phenomenal Ashe, sitting at 4, 1, and 2. Already has that Essence Reaver completed. Not entirely sure what he's going to be building next, but does have the components for his Berserker's Greaves, and then we'll just see what item he tends to go for next. What does he currently have in terms of gold? 2,300 gold. So we're definitely going to be seeing something coming out of him pretty darn soon. Bjergsen did finish off his Morellonomicon, also has another Amplifying Tome, and 2 Doran's Rings. So he has a decent amount of damage, but really hasn't hit his stride yet. And is now losing to this Lucian in terms of farm. The Ghostblade has been purchased on the Lucian. I wouldn't be surprised to see this as the kind of Korean build mid lane Lucian, where you do that. It's basically an armor pen Lucian where you have that Ghostblade built first, Black Cleaver afterwards. It does a disgusting amount of damage when played correctly. And of course, at this ELO, I'm pretty sure these guys are all playing their roles correctly when they decide to play them. But right now, we are seeing that the gold lead shifted in favor of the blue team, 30.2k to 28.7k, pretty much because of that top lane turret going down. Well, actually, you know what? They got the mid lane turret for the blue side. So, yeah, there's 2 turrets down, and no turrets are down for the red team. So, a lot of just kind of standard gold that's been left on the map in terms of turrets for the red side to claim, which would put them back in the gold lead. But 1 dragon apiece. I think, though, in general, the blue team got a better advantage from those dragons. Rift Herald has been secured by the blue side as well. Going to give that over to the Fizz. He's been having a very good time dueling the Malphite already. So for the next 20 minutes, Fizz is going to have a fantastic time dealing with the Malphite. The ultimate coming down from the Lucian. A lot of damage going down onto Taliyah. And the Fizz not going to be quite enough. The Playful Trickster is going to be enough, though. Even with the exhaust going down onto Fizz, not going to be enough to keep Taliyah alive. Bjergsen is going to fall. And now Malphite is in the midst of 4 people. The ultimate cook him out. He does have support, but Fizz is now going to jump in onto the Karma. The Karma W is not going to lock anybody down. Those changes not landing the CC that they needed. Malphite still has his ultimate. Everybody does have their ultimate, but with Taliyah being down, there's not really a whole lot you can do, but to be honest, okay, here's the Karma going down. The Alistar with the headbutt pulverized combo, and Fizz just following up on that one. The EQ combo missing, but oh, a huge Malphite ultimate. The Unstoppable Force landing on 3 people, and now they're on the retreat. Ashe is doing a lot of damage from the back line. Jarvan is ready with an EQ combo. Not going to be able to use it quite yet. Is going to use it to escape. The Rek'Sai just surviving with just about 200 HP, but Malphite going down in a total of a, what, a 3 for 1, 2. 3 for 2 exchange. Don't worry, guys. I'll get there eventually. I'll get there. It was a full house. But just including the Taliyah death at the beginning. It was a great counter engage from the Malphite, getting a 3-man Unstoppable Force, but sadly with the Taliyah being dead, you just kind of lost the amount of follow-up damage that you would need. We haven't seen a lot from Doublelift's Graves in the past little while. He got a pretty solid advantage in the early game and hasn't really used it to do much. But then again, Apollo's been playing a great Ashe and got a pretty solid early game himself, sitting at 5, 1, and 3. So I'm not entirely sure what these guys are going to bring to the team fight, but Apollo's arrows have been pretty much on point on the targets that he needs to hit. So if that translates to the late game, that could spell a pretty early loss to this game for the red side if Taliyah keeps getting hit. But it looks like Rek'Sai is going to find a Karma in the jungle. He's not going to find Karma in the jungle. That would be kind of unfortunate if you struck Karma in the jungle, but there is a Karma, the champion, in the jungle that Rek'Sai found. Black Cleaver has been purchased by Graves, so he's kind of going for the armor pen build as well, that Ghostblade and the Black Cleaver immediately. Curious to see what he's going to build after that, but he is currently sitting on a dagger. Could very well build it into a Blade of the Rune King or like Runans. God knows what it could be. Zeal. Any item could really build that. But just kind of looking at some of the items that people have built here. Both junglers decided to go for the warrior enchantment and then build nothing but tankiness afterwards. Very smart choice. Have that as pretty much your only damage item. Malphite clearing out that top lane turret, giving a little bit of gold to the red team, which is very much needed. Malphite now has the Spectre's Cowl alongside the Sunfire Cape, which is making him quite tanky, but with the action going on in the top lane, the blue side did in fact take down that dragon. And that's going to be their second dragon of the game. It looks like the red side is kind of setting up a death brush, hoping that the blue team doesn't know that they're on the Baron, but they have this thing warded. They know that they're not on the Baron. They know that they're setting up a death brush, so they just ended up pushing to the second tier turret. And it looks like we might have a fight going down here. There are a lot of members of the red team here. I don't know if they're going to want to make something happen here. Every team is prepared. Malphite getting headbutt pulverized, but it's not really the target that you want. A lot of armor pen coming from the Lucian, and here's the fight. Jarvan taking a lot of damage. Unstoppable Force landing on 3. 3 people. The Rek'Sai is already dead. Exhaust onto Lucian and Chum the Waters once again onto the Malphite. They're using a lot of damage onto the tankiest member of the red side. Lucian doing a lot of damage as well. Doublelift using the heal to keep himself alive, but Fizz is almost, he is going to clean that one up. Lucian is going to get the kill onto Doublelift's Graves, and it looks like the rest of the team is going to have to run away. Taliyah is at full HP and full mana. I don't know what Bjergsen was doing during that team fight, but probably could have secured a kill at least onto the Fizz, but nothing really else coming from it. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Full HP and full mana maybe just wasn't there in time for the team fight, was maybe doing something else before it happened, but a 3-for-3 exchange, so a very even team fight, but I have to say that would have been, I think, a landslide victory for the blue side, but so many abilities got used on the Malphite, which is just the wrong thing to do, right? We had the Headbutt Pulverize combo from the Alistar onto the Malphite. We had Chum the Waters onto the Malphite. Not entirely sure where the arrow landed, but that's too much damage going onto the tankiest member of that team. And then Malphite ended up getting a 3-person knockup with the Unstoppable Force. I gotta say, Malphite is doing his job, soaking up a lot of damage and utilizing that ultimate to get kills. Doublelift sitting at 9-3 and 3, picking up a couple kills in that team fight. But now it looks like Rek'Sai is just kind of clearing out this dragon. Going to be able to get that one as well. I thought he was not going to be able to get that because the sweeper ran out. But it looks like Alistar also had his own sweeper, so they were going to get that ward no matter what. There is now no vision for the red side on the Baron Pit. Well, they just did put a ward down. Thank you for correcting me, Karma, by putting that down and getting my facts all messed up. The blue side does know that Graves is bottom lane, so not sure if they're going to push for any type of a Baron or anything like that, but there's only a 2,000 gold lead in favor of this blue side. Headbutt Pulverize onto Cloud Nunion's Jarvan, doing about a quarter HP of damage. Oh, Graves is going to get found by the Fizz, going to get knocked out by the Chum the Waters, and I think this is going to be the end of Doublelift. Yeah, sadly, just cannot deal with that. Another great arrow from Apollo landing on Taliyah, and this is going to be a huge fight. Double, triple knockups. The Alistar landing a Headbutt Pulverize on 3 people, and then the Rek'Sai coming in and getting another triple knockup. That just cannot happen. You cannot be that grouped up with an Alistar and a Rek'Sai. That was just 3 people knocked up for like 4 seconds, and a great arrow coming out of Apollo. He's been doing that all damn game. Very, very well done, and this is going to be probably a Baron in favor of the blue side. Alistar jumping over the wall to make sure that the Malphite couldn't get in to maybe get an Unstoppable Force on that. Could have very well stolen that, and now it looks like the Lucian's Armor Pen build is doing work. Alistar is not, sorry, the Unstoppable Force is going to come in through the Malphite, but the, the Rek'Sai is going to try to chase. The Q is not going to be enough damage, and it looks like he is going to escape for now. It was a very, very nicely done fight by the blue side, but just not quite enough to pick off that Malphite. If the Ashe had maybe gotten one more auto attack, it would have been enough, but sadly just not quite there. But that is a huge swing in the tempo of things. The bottom lane second tier turret going down after that's actually a tough thing to say, the bottom tier turret. Bottom lane second tier turret going down in favor of the blue team after that solo kill onto Doublelift. Fizz really wrapping up those kills, 7, 3, and 4 with 158 CS. Doing a very good job playing that kind of assassination tanky role. Also has a Magi's. Oh, finally we see Apollo's arrow missing, not being on point. That crystalline arrow finally missing its mark. But yeah, Fizz has the Magi's Soul Stealer and tankiness, so using that as his major damage item. Here comes Bjergsen, knocking the Rek'Sai through the Mine Pit. The knockup from the Rek'Sai not going to interrupt the EQ combo from the Jarvan, so he's going to get away from that one. But we are just seeing a very distinct difference in terms of damage from this blue side. The Lucian with that Zeal now as well, doing so much damage even to the tankiest member of the team. But here comes the ultimate from Bjergsen, not going to knock anybody up, and is just going to kind of isolate his own team. Fizz now coming through. The Seismic Shard thing is going to, well, Seismic Shard is Malphite's ability. I can't even remember what that E is called from Taliyah. Should probably figure that out. The Rek'Sai is going to knock up the Malphite. Malphite with a great double Unstoppable Force onto the 2 people who needed to get hit by the Lucian and the Ashe, but the Culling coming out and absolutely melting everybody. Karma going down from the Fizz, and another double headbutt pulverized combo from the Alistar. Doublelift now trying to kite away from this Fizz, but is it going to be enough? He's going to have to heal as well. Fizz jumping away with Playful Trickster, and right now it's Taliyah and the Graves alive with the Malphite, but everybody is so low other than Bjergsen, who's not going to get into this one, even though so many people are so low, just does not have the damage to do anything. But there's the arrow coming out onto Bjergsen once again. They're trying to chase her down, but not going to quite be enough. Rek'Sai is trying to go in on this one, but you got to be worried about Bjergsen's damage. Fizz is going to jump in and get the kill onto Bjergsen, and that is going to be his 9th kill of the game, but he is going to pay for it with his life, resetting those while taking away half of those Magi's stacks. And that's it's an unfortunate thing to lose those stacks, but you know, taking down the Taliyah, not too bad of a trade. At least he got to up those stacks a little bit before they got halved. But 20 to 17, 53k to 44.6k in favor of this blue side. We just, you know, I've got to say, as much as I didn't want to say it at the beginning because I was hoping it was going to be a really great game, but Taliyah has been very, very underwhelming. And this is not saying anything about Bjergsen as a player. He's a phenomenal mid laner. You wonder if it might just be that maybe Taliyah isn't as good as we think that she is, or maybe the ultimate just doesn't work as well with, like, I have seen Taliyah do very well in terms of my ELO, but it's nowhere near this ELO, and it could very well be that maybe these high ELO players with great team communication, it's just maybe not as good, or maybe you can't get as much use out of it. But Malphite is probably going to go down to this Lucian. The exhaust going down onto Lucian as well, but he does have support from the comma. The exhaust going down on that one. Unstoppable force, and the dunk coming down from the Jarvan is going to be enough. Doublelift trying to kill the Alistar, but the ultimate going down, and Apollo coming in and cleaning up the kill on him. Maybe just a little bit of over-aggression. Rek'Sai is now coming in with the help of the Fizz. They might be able to secure a couple kills. The red buff is on the Jarvan right now, trying to slow him down, but the EQ combo is going to get him out of there. Now it looks like the Chum the Waters onto the Malphite. He is going to get knocked up. Ash is here once again to probably secure another kill, and that is going to be another kill for Apollo. 8, 2, and 10. Even with a CS lead over Doublelift. Yeah, it's just been, I'm not entirely sure what Bjergsen's been doing on Taliyah this entire time. Been doing a lot of farming in the mid lane. Hasn't really been present in a lot of team fights, or at least hasn't been providing a lot of damage. Could very well still be kind of learning the champion, but it has just been quite underwhelming. Other than that, like, one solid ultimate play that we saw earlier in the game onto the Alistar, that's all we've really seen from Taliyah. Just look at the item differences. So you look at the Lucian, who has a Ghost Blade, Black Cleaver, Phantom Dancer, Berserker's Greaves, and Last Whisper. And then you look at Bjergsen, who has a Morellonomicon, and that's the only completed item. Right, that's pretty much it. It's just the Sork Boots, Morellonomicon. Does have a needlessly large rod and Seeker's Arm Guard, but that's not going to be enough to keep him alive during these fights or do enough damage. Alistar being caught out a little bit with the Cataclysm from the EQ combo of the Jarvan, but, you know, trading Alistar's life for another dragon, that is definitely worth it in favor of the blue team. 3 dragons to the 1 of the red team. 6 turrets to 1. It's just been kind of a raffle stomp for this blue side. Looked a lot more even. I would even say in favor of the red side during the earlier stages of this game when Doublelift's Graves was really kicking it off. But now it's just completely turned on its head. So Bjergsen's got to finish off that Zhonya's Hourglass. But the problem is when you're facing a team that has... Oh, sorry, we're going to talk about the solution. The calling coming out, but not landing a whole lot. But there you go. KFO's Chum the Water once again being on point. And that's going to be a dead Jarvan very quickly. Even if Taliyah finishes off that Zhonya's Hourglass, when you're facing a Lucian that's this Korean build with so much armor pen, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get melted. Look at how quickly they melted that Malphite, who has a Sunfire Cape and a Frozen Heart. But finally, we're seeing a kill come down. Oh, Bjergsen wasn't even a part of it. We saw the ultimate come down, but wasn't even able to get a part of that kill. So Ash just going down to Doublelift's Graves with a little bit of support from the Karma. But now we might have a little bit of a fight. W coming down onto the Fizz, but the Playful Trickster's going to come out, not going to get stunned. The Unstoppable Force was only landing on one person, and right now Fizz taking on 3 members of the red team. Doublelift might go down to the Playful Trickster. He is going to go down, but he's going to pay with it with his life. Fizz going down again, resetting those, well, taking them down to half from those Magi stacks. Pretty big deal to lose those Magi stacks every time that you go in, but once again, securing another kill, basically 3v1, but Bjergsen now sitting at 2, 4, and 3. Finished off his Rylai's Crystal Scepter first, rather than the Zhonya's Hourglass. I think I like that a little bit more. You tend to have very, very good kite potential as the Taliyah with your Q when you can move and slow people while damaging them while moving back. But I just don't feel like it's going to be enough. Malphite currently tanking up the turret for God knows what reason. Going to be pushed right back into the turret, but luckily he's very, very tanky, so he'll be able to take a lot of turrets. But the knockups have just been absolutely nuts, keeping him under turret for so long. There's the ultimate coming in from Apollo. Malphite jukes out of the way, but it lands on the Karma. That's not the target you wanted to get hit by that, but luckily there's no follow-up for the blue side, and Malphite taunting his opponents with a certain amount of glee to that one. But I feel like he's just taunting to try to... I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do here, but maybe just trying to lure them into a false sense of security of, you guys might be ahead, but we're going to win the late game, which I weirdly doubt. Right now, 12, 6, and 5 for Doublelift's Graves. I feel like you've got to play the defend the Graves comp at this point. I don't think you should be using the Malphite ultimate to actually engage anymore. I think you need to use that ultimate to get the Fizz off of Graves, because I feel like Fizz every single time now is just going to be diving straight through to the Graves. But here comes the calling, doing about half the HP of Taliyah. So much damage coming out, trying to get everybody into the minefield, but it's not going to be enough. Bjergsen and Rek'Sai, the Rek'Sai flashing and knocking up Bjergsen, and that is going to be enough for the kill. Rek'Sai picking that one up. Unstoppable Force landing onto the Lucian. They're trying to take him down. Is not going to be enough. The Lucian's going to use that heal and keep him alive, and now Graves trying to do his best. Doublelift basically going to have to 1v5 this because Malphite does not have enough damage, and he's going to be taken down by the Ashe's volley, and now Graves going to get hit by that arrow. Apollo once again landing a solid Ashe ultimate, and it is just the Karma who's alive. That was a 4-for-0 exchange in favor of the blue side. Sadly, just nothing working out in favor of this red side. And with this huge minion wave and 38 seconds on Graves, who's really the only damage threat on this team, I wonder if the blue side might just look to end this game. They do have the Lucian and the Ashe still alive, so they're going to take down these turrets incredibly quickly. The Chum the Waters is going to land onto the Karma. I don't know if they're going to chase this one down or they're just going to end the game. Jarvan is trying to get in, flashing onto the Ashe, but it's not going to be enough to pick up the kill, and that is going to be the game in favor of the blue side. So guys, hate to say it, Bjergsen's Taliyah just did not show up that game. Really wish that we saw a little bit more action. Wish that he was part of more fights. I don't know if maybe that's how it's supposed to be played, or maybe Bjergsen was just waiting to get a little bit further into the late game, but not entirely sure what happened there, but sadly a little bit underwhelming. But we did see a pretty phenomenal Graves coming out of Doublelift, but I think we had a little bit of a better performance coming out of Apollo and Echo Fox's KFO on Fizz and Ashe respectively. Thank you all so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and of course, watching this video definitely means a lot to me. Also, sharing this video with your friends if you did in fact enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you all in the next video.